All right. All right. All right. So this is state of mind, and I'm I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm passionate about Tyler Gerard's story that you are going to hear about real soon here. He spent 6 years in the Thailand prison. He was innocent. And guess what? He's here today. But can you imagine what he went through? I can't. His mother is here, Tracy. She's a darling. Uh, and I'm going to talk to her first. This is a mother who, you know, those documentaries where people are trying to get to Mount Everest, and then they try, they can't do it, they do it again, then they do it again, then they do it again, and they get to the top. And that's what she did. She saved her son's life. That's what a mother does for a son. We're doing a GoFundMe. We want to raise as much money as we can, because after you listen to this story, you'll understand why. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Maurice.
How you doing? Nervous?
I'm nervous, but I'm
Fine.
doing well.
Great.
Doing well. Better than I've been in a long time.
Oh, I can imagine. You, you're. It's like those movies you see, you know, that the mother will do anything to save her son, and that movie wins Academy Awards. Because the mother's always that lion, you know, that will do anything for her son, and that's what you are to me. What? How many kids you got?
Tyler's my youngest, and then I have one older son, Trevor.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And how was Tyler when he was little?
he was. He was a bit of a pain in the ass, if you
That's
want to
it.
be honest.
That's like my son Joshua, a
Yeah,
bit of a pain in the ass.
yeah. He had his moments, but a kind kid, always an incredibly kind kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes hidden by his pain in the assness. We had our moments.
So when he was a teenager, what was that? What was that like? I mean, what did he do? Did he work, or did he? Because I started work when I was 15 and a half.
He did different things. Not not any nothing that you would say he got paid and went to a job for, but he did different things. Um, he hated high school
I
and
hated high school.
ended up having to do school at home. Super smart, but
Oh, really? Like
absolutely,
my kids.
yeah, absolutely despised high school. Yeah, so he did homeschooling most of the time.
Yeah.
Graduated high grades, but still a pain.
Yeah. Look. I wish I could do homeschool when I was in,
Yeah.
because I didn't. Paula, it's a joke. She says that I didn't graduate because they were looking at some papers or something. My name wasn't on it. I mean, I thought I barely graduated, but you know. Uh, so take me when you first found out that what happened with Tyler.
I was on my way to play bocce ball. was December 3rd or 4th, I believe, on my way to play bocce ball, normal day for us, and I got a phone call. And I could tell it was coming from Thailand, and of course I knew he was there, and so
Now, what did he go to Thailand for? Just a vacation?
he had an American friend that was living over there. We've traveled all over the world with our kids, so them traveling wasn't anything new.
Right.
He was due to go in the army, and he was having, you know, some last fun, going to Thailand, stay with his friends, see the things.
A lot of kids do that.
A lot, yeah.
Thailand's, I'm sure, beautiful. And
Yeah, he had tried college. That wasn't for him.
Yeah.
So he was due to go in the army, just waiting for his time. They make you wait sometimes, I
Right.
guess. Yeah. So I got a call and he was screaming on the phone, Mom, I got arrested. Mom, I got arrested. Mom, I got arrested.
whoa.
And that's pretty much all they would let him say. And then a lawyer got on the phone and just started telling me that my son had been arrested and what he'd been arrested for, and that I needed to get there right away, and I needed to send money, and I needed to, and then they hung up.
Wow.
And
So
I went to
then
meetings.
you, I'm sure, you know, you were,
I
yeah.
was on my knees, had to be driven home. My husband got there right then, Jerry, and we started calling back this supposed lawyer, who was not a lawyer. He was about the worst person in the world I've ever met. Some of them, anyway. I've met a few through all of this.
What did he, what was he like? Was he just lying all the time? Or?
Just an absolute liar. Take your money. Take it. He was there to
Wow.
do exactly this to foreigners, to
Really?
make them terrified, make them pay, you know, millions of dollars if they could get it to get your child home. That was the first introduction into that. And then they would send me little snippets of videos once they had me on the phone. But it was definitely a lure in, you know, to try and prime us for, you know, first it was just, oh, we need $1,200 to retain us. And, you know, that $1,200 turned into millions.
Wow. So the first trip you went, what was that like?
My husband and I were gone within 36 hours of him calling. Yeah, we were almost there in 36 hours. I should take that back. Yeah. Yeah, we just went. I had
Did you
to
get
go.
to see him?
When we first got there, he had already been put in prison. So yeah, when I finally saw him, he was already in prison.
Okay, so you're there. He's in prison. Do you get to see him?
Through glass, yeah, and on a
Through glass.
phone.
Like
Yeah.
you see in movies?
Something. I don't
Yeah.
think that you could ever, I don't think I've ever seen any movie of a
No.
Thailand prison that does it any sort of justice.
Because that prison is just,
That one was terrible, but believe it or not, it got more horrific after that.
really?
Tyler can tell you about that. But
Yeah.
it was horrific. It was just
So you got to see him for how long? Or
10 minutes. 10 minutes. In that particular prison, we could see him 10 minutes Monday through Friday. And we had this lawyer who at that particular point we thought was there to help us, to help, you know, he was going to get him out. This was just going to be a little blip on the radar. You know what I mean? Just some
Yeah.
terrible thing that happened and you could laugh about later. In fact, my niece was driving us to the airport and we were kind of just chuckling, oh gosh, you know, what's this going to be? We carried over there, you know, like $30,000 in cash with us just so that, because we thought that was, you
Yeah.
know, we'd, you know, been schooled a bit that was probably what it was going to take.
And by the end of it, you,
Millions. And it didn't do any good is the kicker to all of that. It doesn't do a bit of good.
now, you can say it all worked out,
It did all work out.
even though you had to lose everything pretty much. But think about those other kids or men that are in these prisons that it doesn't work out.
We know we're currently trying to help many of them.
That's
now.
right.
I became so involved over there and so ingrained in that system and ran into some really good people that helped us, that truly, truly helped us. And I can't, there will never be enough thank yous to
Yeah,
those people,
yeah.
because they did it to their own demise. As far as I was concerned, it was only hurting them. Law enforcement didn't want us to have any help over there. That was not, no one wanted to help us. So the ones that did, it was truly, truly amazing, and just a walk of faith on their part.
And you, how many times did you go there, come home, go back?
I can't even remember, honestly. I would have to look at my passport
I don't know
to
why
tell
I
you.
think it was only 3 times, but
Oh, no. No, 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 no.
it was like a lot, right?
Probably 10, 12.
Um,
I would just do, the longest I was ever over there without coming back home was 6.5 months. That was part of the time that he was in solitary. So, yeah, 6.5 months over there.
and there's sometimes you would go there and think that he's coming home.
Every time we'd had a verdict, we couldn't see how he couldn't come home, because there was never any evidence. There was never any, the trials were an absolute sham. I mean, you just sit there knowing how we look at things here, and you see how they conduct a trial, and you think, well, there's no way. Of course he's coming home. This is ridiculous. How could this, there's nothing to convict him on. Nothing. How could they find him guilty? But what you don't realize is that there is the amount of corrupt over there. And I'm not talking about Thai people. I'm talking about the Thai legal system.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to make that really clear.
Yeah,
I don't have anything bad to say about Thai people, or
right.
Some of the kindest people I met that helped me.
Yeah.
That, like I said, had nothing to gain and only be hurt by helping me. So, but the Thai legal system is extremely broken and extremely corrupt, and not only do they do this to their own people, but they do it heavily to foreigners, all kinds. It's ruining, destroying families. I mean, we were lucky enough that we had, we were well enough off that we could do this. My husband continued to work. I continued to go over there. My older son continued to work. They held it down here, and I did what I had to do over there. But what about the people that don't?
Yeah, right.
That can't.
And they're still there.
Yeah, and we had so much support here.
Yes.
From a lot of people. Some not so much, but we had a lot of support here, people helping us here. So we're the blessed ones. It didn't feel like it for a long time,
right.
But we are truly. I don't know what we would have done without God and the people that came to our rescue while we were trying to rescue our son.
Now, you told me a story about, did you jump over a fence or?
Oh, good Lord.
We got to get to that story, then I'm going to get to Tyler.
Well, I'll let him, well, it was, yes, there was a time when he was let go, and he was supposed to come home after 2 years. And they rearrested him instead of sending him to IDC, which is where they send you before you go home to process you out. So he was due to come home. It had been 2 years, and, we were still kind of okay at that point. We were hard on him, but we were still kind of okay. They rearrested him, and they let me come to the place where they were holding him to arrest him, and they interrogated me. And I wasn't interrogated by a member of the DEA, the United States DEA, a gentleman that can't be found anymore now.
Why would he?
He was working with them, but he was dirty as you can get. And I've had law enforcement here look to try and find him. He's disappeared.
Wow.
I have phone messages and stuff from him. So I was being interrogated, my husband was being interrogated, and Tyler was being interrogated in another room by just a throng of law enforcement. Finally, they just told me that they were going to take him because, of course, Tyler said, I didn't do it. They're trying to make you say you did do it.
Yeah, of course.
So Tyler, no. And we demanded a lawyer. We were a little smarter at this point, a real lawyer. And they said they were going to take him to a safe house. And they said I could follow. So we followed with a poor little taxi driver driving us. And the taxi driver got so scared because he knew where they were going, which was considered a safe house. And they lost us a bit, and we found it, and it was surrounded by a fence. And yes, I climbed a fence in the middle of the night screaming my son's name, and A lot of obscenities probably too that they better give him
Wow.
back. My husband had to pull me off, and the cab driver. But
That's just
you can't take my baby.
amazing.
Yeah, there isn't any fear when it comes to that. There was
Nah.
no fear for myself. I'll fight till the death for either one of my kids.
You did save his life. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, God saved his life, but
Yes. Faith.
faith. Faith.
All right, I think we're gonna bring in Tyler. You spoke great. I don't know. I mean, for being so emotional and so nervous, I know how difficult it is. You know what I think gets you through that? It's just you have something that's like just powerful inside. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel it. I feel it. And when you speak, you become exactly what Tyler needed. Is whatever you have inside of you.
Well, I had really bad times,
Yeah.
but yeah, I can't. You fight to the death. You just do.
Yes, you do.
That's what you do.
Yes, you did. Tyler, I can't wait to get into your story because I think it's important.
Yeah, I think it is too. People need to know and understand.
And I know you smile a lot, and that can come across.
I do smile a lot, yeah. It could come across as weird, but
yeah,
it's just how I am.
but you got a nice smile, man.
Thanks.
Like I said before, we're doing a GoFundMe. We're trying to raise money for this family who endured what nobody should endure. It almost pisses me off, to be honest with you, that I even think about just your life and your story and your mom.
Yeah.
What okay. Let's just start from. I hear that you were a pain in the ass when you were a little boy.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. Huge pain in the ass.
Okay.
100%.
So why were you a pain in the ass?
Take your pick, really.
Just
a little bit out of control from time to time. I was no angel, that's for sure.
Wow.
Growing up, I would, get into little bits of trouble. Nothing too serious, but.
Did you have anxiety when you were?
Yeah, I did.
What age?
Since I could remember, really.
Really?
Yeah. It runs in my family. Everyone's kind of got it, especially my mom's side.
Wow.
I think it's kind of a blessing and a curse, honestly.
Why is that a blessing and a curse? I like that.
Because while it's uncomfortable, it gives you the drive to go further, I feel like. Definitely gives you the drive to go further than someone who would just accept, whereas where anxiety can push you to improve or to just push harder to get what you need, I feel like. So
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
yeah.
I mean, I have.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And I always say that the pandemic was a curse and a blessing, because the curse is that there's way too many suicides than there should be. And the blessing is when you were in the pandemic, you couldn't run.
Yeah.
You had to deal with it.
To face your problems, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the curse and the blessing of that. I think, well, I talked about it earlier. I think, with you. I'm getting at that age, when
Yeah, of course. Happens.
I forget
Happens to
everything.
me too sometimes.
Like last night, part of it was this interview, because this interview is very important to me. You guys are important to me. It makes me emotional. I had anxiety. I haven't had anxiety since the pandemic.
Okay. Well, I hope
So
I wasn't
thank
too
you for
much.
that.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. It seems to be my thing, I give people anxiety.
But it was the first time ever, and I've had, anxiety and bipolar and all that I had anxiety and no fear.
Yeah, you see, that's something special. I
That's
think.
nice, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because you still have the feelings inside,
Mm-hmm.
but the thoughts aren't saying, oh no.
Yeah, Yep.
You're in trouble. Freddy Krueger's here.
Yeah.
Hi,
They
Freddy.
just come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come out.
There
and
was
play.
no Freddy,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, come out to play.
Yeah.
There was no Freddy, man. So I was a little bit hard to go to sleep, but I did. And then I woke up this morning, went for a walk and meditated, and I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the first time. So
Well,
actually, maybe it's your good luck.
I hope so.
I didn't have the fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Take me on a ride, man.
Okay.
We're going to start with why you wanted to go to Thailand.
Well, yeah, I was going to go in the military, and I thought it was a beautiful place. I had a friend over there who works as a musician, and I went to go spend some time with him. So that's why I went originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And because there's at General Hospital. That's the soap opera that I.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I play Sonny.
Uh,
Mike. A lot of younger people from GH have gone to Thailand,
mm-hmm.
and I'm always like, why?
Yeah,
Because it's scary, and they're like, no, but it's beautiful, and this and this and that.
it is. The land is beautiful, but the political system is very bad. It's still a monarchy. The king is all powerful. He can do whatever he wants. Basically take people's lives or give people's lives. It's still like that. They're still in that.
Wow.
So it's yeah, if you get stuck into that system, it's not good. But if you were to just go there, sit on the beach for a little while and come back in a resort, great.
Like
yeah,
beautiful beaches there.
Yeah, totally. I mean, they have a beautiful land there, and I feel bad for their people that they're oppressed as they are.
Yeah. Now, you went, so then you decided to go for music, right? To play.
My friend was a musician, so I just went to stay with him, check out the place. Yeah, he was kind of local around that area, so great.
I know maybe you might not be able to talk about something legally or whatever, but what exactly happened when you were there and you got busted for?
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
So I was arrested on a bunch of charges.
Okay.
Murder, drug smuggling. Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah, big charges, really big charges. And I was arrested near Cambodia. So, yeah, at the border, actually.
I want to know,
Mm-hmm.
because I watch a lot of those shows. I want to know exactly what happened when they came to you when you got that whole feeling of that.
Yeah, so I was just going to cross over to Cambodia. And as I was putting my passport there, I was seeing they were putting up people's photos on that glass. At the passport booth, there's like a glass in between you and the woman who takes your passport.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and I was like, yeah, it's an American passport. That looks a lot like, oh, wow, that's me. I was totally surprised. And at that point, she kind of just took my passport, slid it under, and touched something. I don't know what she touched, a button maybe. And it was just full of police and immigration
Like
officials.
how many police?
A lot. I mean, more than I could count at the moment. I was just in shock. I was like, what's going on? Did I overstay? Like, what's going on here? Like, was there something wrong with my passport? And then, yeah, they're saying you're being detained. We can't tell you for what.
They're talking
Broken English.
So they take you
Mm-hmm.
to a room.
Yeah, well, first they put me in a car, put a bag over my head, and then took me back to one city called Pattaya in Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started their interrogation, which lasted days.
So you're in a room with like how many? Couple cops.
I mean, they would come and go. At one point, maybe 20. At some points, maybe 3.
And what are they saying?
They're just trying to make you sign papers. Sign this.
And you're like, no.
I'm like, no, I don't know what this is. And that's what they're trying to do. They're basically trying to get you to admit to something that you have no idea about.
And then after they came and went, what happened? You didn't sign the papers, obviously.
I did sign one paper.
Oh.
Yeah, which was for my belongings.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a confession or...
They tried to make it like there was, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
They did try to make like there was, but there was not even a translator there, so there's no way to confess to anything.
So once they're thinking that they got you.
Yeah. I mean, they just want to put you in there, you know?
Yes, of course.
They just want to put you in there.
So then now you're going, what's going on?
Yeah, basically.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, they're calling me murderer, drug smuggler. Honestly thought it was a little bit of a joke. And then they're showing me the newspaper that day. I'm on the front page of the newspaper already. And I thought it was maybe a little local town, village newspaper. No, it was a newspaper for all of Thailand. And there I was.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So now the whole country is looking at you a certain way.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so now they take you into the prison.
Mm-hmm. It was...
On the way to that prison, are you like going, this is just...
I remember looking at my hands, you know, and like checking like the scars or something on my hands to make sure it was me.
Wow.
I thought it might have been, I was kind of getting like some disassociative feeling from my body. Do you know what, you know what I'm saying? So I almost didn't, I looked at him for the first couple of days, actually. I was looking at the scars on my hands, you know, just little stuff like little nicks
just
you get or
to
whatever.
Make sure it was you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is me and this is where I am. I don't know how or why, but here I am.
So now you're in the prison.
Yeah.
What does the prison look like?
First night I got there, I didn't see, I mean, it was all Thais, you know, I didn't see any foreigner, any nothing. So I figured I was the only foreigner there. The prison was terrible. I mean, you're sleeping in shifts.
Shifts.
Like, so first off, your legs are interlocking with the other people you're sleeping with. So your leg would be on my chest and my leg would be on your chest and we'd be interlocking that way. And then onto the side as well. They call it the fish can is what they call it in there. And then after 4 hours, you would switch. So about 20 people who just got to prison, you have to go stand in the toilet area. And then the other new 20 people come and sleep. So you sleep in shifts like that.
Okay, Tyler. Right when you're first in there and you got to do the sleeping and the leg and the thing.
Yeah.
What the hell are you thinking, brother? I mean,
I was, yeah, I mean, the first night I just felt alone.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like, what's happened here? Where am I? What's going on? Like, I just felt overwhelmed, I guess.
Is it a cell like a
it's
beds?
No, it's a room. So like just a room with either wooden floor or concrete floor. This was the first prison, right?
Yeah, first prison.
So we're talking a room maybe 20 feet long by 15 feet wide, and you've got about 55 people in there.
Okay. Let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
I got to take this in. Okay. You're taking me on the journey here, and I'm being affected a lot.
Yeah, it's
50 people, bro. It's in this thing.
Yes, you cannot sleep on your back. The people who are sleeping on their back have their legs interlocked. Then a group of people sleep on their side, and then the boss of the room, who's in charge of like counting the people who are in the room, also a prisoner, he will usually push you together with his feet. So you will all lay down on your side, and then he will cram you together with his feet. So push you, and then maybe slip one more person in there.
Let's not forget, to the State of Mind audience, he's innocent, and he's 19. Am I right?
21, just turned 21.
21. I don't know why I thought 19. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I don't care if you're 60. Okay. Okay, so you're there, and you got to sleep like that for the whole time, or while you're there?
Yeah, when you first get there, you're like that for a few months. Yeah.
What are these other people like in there?
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are, not great. A lot of them are just, villagers, Thai villagers, rice farmers and stuff like that. They don't know any different. They're scared. There's gangs and all that type of stuff as well.
Did you deal with people, like they say in prison, trying to, beat you up or take you down? They have like they do in San Quentin or these prisons out here where, you know, the blacks are with the blacks and the whites are with the whites and the Spanish.
Well, I mean, they're all Thai, so they kind of break up by province,
Yeah.
but they do have that. And then, yeah, there was some foreigners in that first prison. So the first day when I got out of the cell, I came out and the police had took everything. I only had my boxers. They'd taken my shoes. I had no shirt, nothing. So I came out and, yeah, one guy, Nikolai, he came up to me, the Russian guy. He asked me if I was Russian. I said, no, I'm American. So he took me back, and yeah, so from that moment on, I stayed with Russian people.
Ah.
Yeah, and yeah, they were great. They helped me with everything. I think I'd probably be dead without them, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they
wouldn't let anybody mess with you. Does that happen in there? The people trying to.
Not so much. It does happen, but I mean, not if you don't owe someone something or if you're not in debt to someone, you can get along.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's no guards really inside, so it's all prisoners. There's maybe 3 guards for 1,000 people. So the prisoners kind of have like an agreement. If you bump into someone, you say sorry.
Yeah.
If you don't say sorry, then there's issues. Yeah, but everyone kind of gets along with that, and you got to kind of conform to their customs as well.
What was the food like in there?
Oh man, yeah, it was
Like what? Please
like the government food, what they would give you.
Yeah, what is it?
It's rice, and dirty water, some fish heads sometimes. There's like some Thai vegetables boiled in there. It's bad, man. The food is bad, and there's never enough. There's never enough. You got to work hard to get enough food. You can't be just sitting there and not worry about food, or else you're not going to get any food.
How much did you weigh?
Well, when I first got in there, I got TB right away, so tuberculosis, and that destroyed me for like the first couple months. Yeah, once again, without those Russian guys around me, they were helping me with everything. I had no idea what TB was, so they helped me out a lot. And so I went down. I lost probably 60 pounds. I mean, I was maybe like 120, 130.
Dang.
Yeah.
How was your and now your anxiety must have been through the roof, or what?
Yeah, but terrible. Yeah, absolutely terrible. I mean, it was just a constant crawling of the skin and beating of the heart,
I hate that, man.
Your mind constantly never shutting down, hitting you with all the wrong thoughts, So I kind of took this mentality like your brain is kind of like a castle, that needs to be protected. So anytime a bad thought comes in, it's like a fire, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to put out the fire immediately, or it's going to burn the whole castle down.
Right.
So I kind of got to this point where when a bad thought would come in, I'd put it out immediately, even no matter what it was, if it was logical problem or illogical problem, because I just wouldn't be able to deal with any more problems than what was right in front of me.
Your faith had to be enormous, right?
Yes. Yeah, it really was.
We look, I tell people, I don't talk much about God, and I was brought up Catholic, and obviously what you went through, but I've been through myself enough, and the reason God is so important for me, and I think for you, because you can't do it alone.
No, you can't. You can't. Another, thing that I learned in there, another same buddy, Nikolai. I remember my mom gave me a rosary, smuggled in a rosary to me. Bless her heart, my angel, my mom. And so I got it finally. A guard gave it to me, and I just kind of threw it in the locker. I was raised Catholic as well, but I never really followed it.
Same with me. Yeah.
And I remember I threw it in there, and he took it out, and he says, "No, brother, look. You say outside, you might need this. Inside here, you do need this. Now take it back."
Wow.
And so from then on, it really is true. You do need God. There's a reason, I think, why so many people who go through difficult things come out saying faith. And the people who don't come out of it, well, they don't come out of it.
There you go.
Because they didn't have faith.
Yes.
So there's a reason why. I mean, I know it sounds cliche, faith, right?
No, right.
And everyone's like, faith, the God thing again. Here we go.
Yes.
But no, it's the fact. It's a real fact. It's not a an idea or hypothesis or something, you know?
No,
It's what gets the people who make it through something so hard through it.
I agree with you.
That's
I
it.
say in my life, times when I didn't want to go on,
Mm-hmm.
it's God and the devil
Yes.
fighting each other.
Yeah.
And most of the time God wins,
Mm-hmm.
but there are those times people kill themselves. The
Yes.
devil got them.
Yes.
That's the way I think. I
Exactly.
think you feel the same way.
100%.
So, you must have read a lot of books in there and try to.
Yeah, I read what I could get in English. I read quite a few books, good ones, yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, I mean, Thai well, English well, a bit of Russian, a bit of Spanish.
Dang.
So I learned quite a bit of things as well, yeah.
So how long did you stay in that one prison, the first? How many prisons were you in?
3.
Oh my goodness. So how long did you stay in the first prison?
Yeah, the first prison, so I kind of call that one the baby prison, you know.
So that's the easy one?
That's the really easy one, yeah. Because you have
Oh no.
you've got other foreigners and stuff around.
Okay.
The second prison after I was rearrested after 2 years, that's when they started to apply the drug charges. So I had to go through trial for that, and that's when I got sentenced to death. Was for that that case.
Okay, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Tell me what it's like to be sentenced to death and what goes through your mind.
First thought, honestly,
Yes.
do it. That's what.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Wow.
I mean, at that point when they sentenced me to death, I had been in solitary confinement 1 year.
Hold on, I'm getting some fucking. Hold on. You're cool. I don't know.
No,
It just hit me. Okay, go ahead, brother. Where were we?
so
you said what would they say to you? They're gonna
inject me. Yeah,
they're gonna inject you.
yeah, lethal injection. Yeah,
Okay, and you said do it.
yeah. That was my thought. At that point, I was really depressed. I was really angry at everyone. I mean, I was so angry at that point after being in that solitary confinement for a year. I mean,
Oh, so you were in solitary confinement for a year. I need to know about that
okay.
because your mind is so fucking strong. I can't even begin to even think about it.
It
How
was
strong your mind is. Okay. I
Thank
think
you.
my mind's strong, but it's not really. You're in solitary confinement. When they first put you in there, it's black in there, right?
Actually, quite the opposite. It's really, really bright. It's extremely bright. Never lights off 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there's no way to tell time. There's no clock. And
Wait a minute. It's bright?
yes, it's.
I'd never heard this one. I always think it's black.
It would have been nice, yeah. Would have been nice if it was black. I mean, because you don't know if it's day or night when it's so bright like that. And the meals they're giving them to you irregularly, so you can't base it off of that. All you can base it off of was they would pray a Buddhist prayer 5 times a day, and they'd actually try to force us to pray to Buddha as well, which I was not having. So they treated me worse because of that. So yeah, that was my time there, a year, just like that.
A year in bright light in a room.
Yes.
And what does that do to you?
It's hard. You have to dig really deep, honestly. And
But I still don't get the theory of the bright is worse than the black. I guess because I'm thinking of myself. If it was black, I'd be all scared and stuff.
yeah, so bright, I mean, you can't really get sleep. Do you know what I mean? It's always light. So that's when a lot of kind of mental health issues started, was from that. And they don't want you to sleep also. So they had these speakers. Whenever I would get almost to sleep, they would make a beeping sound with the speaker. Beep. So I would wake back up again. So then you'd kind of have to like fake sleep or not sleep, and then like this, so they wouldn't know when you're actually sleeping. So then you're kind of just left like laying there
So what did you do physically or mentally to survive that?
I prayed a lot. Um, yeah, really, I prayed as much as I could. Um, and I kind of just counted everything that I was grateful for. That I was alive, that I do have a chance to survive, that there is still some food coming to me. Any little thing I could think of, I would try to be grateful for that. And I would count that all the time, you know. Then I'd think of the thing I was most grateful for, like my family and my mother, and think about what if I didn't have that and how much worse it could be. So actually, it's just me suffering in a room. It's not the world ending. That's kind of the way I looked at it.
Wow. Amazing, man. I'm just speechless. I've done state
Yeah.
of mind for, I think I've done 115 state of minds. I've never been speechless.
Yeah, it's
You're doing great, man. I'm the one that's got to hold it together. So. All right. So you did the solitary confinement in bright light. These sons of bitches.
yeah.
Let me tell you something, man.
And that was all. I also had 4 herniated discs in my lower back, so I could barely walk the whole time.
Why did you have that?
I injured it in the previous prison and never got any treatment for it, so it just got worse and worse. And they kept trying to force me to sit, like forced sits. Like they wanted you to they wanted you to meditate. Like they would say meditate 3 hours, 4 hours, and they would play this Buddhist prayer really, really loud. But I couldn't do that. That was against my religion. I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
And that's the #1 rule is don't bow down before another god.
And then there's something they roll on the wall with blood or something.
So yeah, my case partner, we both wanted a Bible, right? Because they gave all the Buddhists these little Buddhist books. Because there's no books, there was nothing allowed in there. It was just you, one blanket, and concrete, and really bright lights. So we were asking, please, Bible, 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 and they wouldn't give it to us. So eventually, me and my case partner made a plan that we would cut ourselves and draw a bloody cross on the wall to try to make them get some reaction out of them, and it worked.
It worked?
Yeah, it did. I mean, my case partner did a better job of it than me, but
Yeah,
it did work. Yeah.
So you're out of the solitary confinement. What was it like when they said you're done here, and you got to go? I don't know where you went, outside, or how was that feeling like?
So the reason I got moved from solitary confinement was because I got a death sentence, and that prison didn't have enough security to keep you. So they have one prison in the country. It's called Bangkwang, and they move all death row prisoners there. So actually, I was pretty relieved to have gotten the death sentence. They took us out. They put chains on us. They welded the chains.
Yeah, what's up with the chains? On your ankles or something?
Yeah, so they're like a 12-kilo chain. It's like 25-pound chain, something about like that. And they welded these things on. And
Why does it have to be so heavy? Because they're a bunch of idiots?
Yeah, basically, they don't want you to escape. I mean,
Oh, come on, man.
but yeah, you've got to go to the toilet with these things on. You've got to do everything with these things on. So
You say 25 pounds?
about, yeah, it's an elephant chain. It's what they use for elephants there.
Okay. So then what?
Then
I want to know what it felt like to be out.
oh, great. I mean, I went to death row and everyone thought I was nuts because I was so happy. They really thought I was crazy. No one ever messed with me there. I thought I was a nutter, you know?
Because you're out now. You don't have to be in that bright light, that room for a year.
I was just sitting in the sun for the time that they would let us out of the cells there. I mean, I thought it was great.
Now that prison, how was that? I mean, as far as now is that the second prison or the third?
Third.
So the third prison, how was that? And what happened to you in the safe house?
Okay, so back in the safe house, yeah, so that's basically when you're arrested in town, they're legally allowed to torture you for 3 days in a safe house if you have a large drug charge because they view you as a terrorist. So, yeah, they put me in there. put me in a small cell. I mean, they did quite a few things: bag over the head, talk, tell us you did it, tell us you did
They
it. But
hit you?
a bit, yeah, a bit. I mean, the worst thing, they do these psychological games, you know. When I was in this cell, they took this knife. They threw me a knife, and they said, "Pick it up." And they all had their hands on their gun, you know, on their holsters. Say, "Pick it up. You're big, yeah, you're tough, like killer, right?" And I was like, "No, man, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything." They say, "Just pick it up, and it'll be finished." I'm not picking it up. They're like, "Okay, then kick it back. Just kick it back at least." I'm like, "I'm not touching it, man." So they're just stuff like this.
Wow.
Stuff like this they were doing nonstop, you know? Not letting you go to the toilet, stuff like that, you know, just
Torture, just torture.
pretty much. Yeah.
Now, this can be a little intense, but anything sexually or
No.
nothing
No,
sexual?
yeah.
Because if you'd gone that road, then I'm just going to have to stop the interview.
I know, yeah.
I mean, so now you're in the third prison,
Uh-huh.
and where's your mom through all this?
Okay, so my mom was she was visiting as regularly as she could when I was in the solitary, but that was once a week for like 10 minutes through a video call conference thing. But she came and visited me right away when I was into death row. She was there. She came, visited me, and yeah, we planned how to get out, you know, how to keep going.
So you guys would just keep talking, and how was it just the hardest thing for you? It's even hard for me to even think about it or even talk about it. Was it hard for you to talk to her? Like it was when she would leave, it was probably you're crushed, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah, and yeah, I felt like I had just destroyed, you know, destroyed my family, destroyed. I mean, through all of this, I mean, lawyers taking, bankrupting us. I mean,
But she
I
always
felt
lift you up.
always, yeah, always strong, always strength, rock, stone. So yeah, it was, without her, I would have died many times over.
Damn. So those guys saved you. Your mom saved you.
Yes.
So the third prison, now they've come to you what 3 times and say they're gonna do you in. Is that the way?
Yeah, so I got the death sentence twice, and then there was the third court, where that would have been it. You know, that would have been it. That was about 3 years.
Oh, the third, that would have been.
Yeah, that would have been, you're condemned to death now. And then the only way you can get out of it then is if the king pardons you to life.
Wow. And how did they do it if they were gonna do it?
Injection.
Oh, the injection. They don't. I thought maybe those rifle things.
They used to shoot you in the back. Yeah. They used to tie you to like a cross, basically a cross. Yeah. Tie your hands up and shoot.
Like Jesus?
Yeah, but they shoot you in the back because that's how they are. They like to do everything behind your back there. Nothing to your face.
Now, why didn't the government help you?
Our government.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They didn't care at all. I mean, honestly, our embassy was the worst I've seen out of any country. I mean, name a country and their embassy was better. Brazil. I mean, countries that you would think are, oh, they're third world. They're not going to come for their people. They show up all the time. My embassy would come once every 6 months.
Wow.
Even passing messages to my mom, they said they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't help me with any of my medicine, like mental health medicine. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. They're really, really bad. They didn't buy me a banana, not even one banana the whole time I was there. Nothing. They didn't give me anything. I mean, the Russian embassy in the first prison used to call me out more than the American embassy. They brought me a priest. They used to call me out and give me food. The American embassy didn't care at all. They didn't want to help.
Man.
Yeah.
You should have called State of Mind. I would have.
I know, right?
Sent you a banana.
Yeah,
sure.
it would have been much appreciated. I would have loved that banana.
All right, so yeah, that's man, it's crazy. So you're in the third. They tell you you're gonna do it. They didn't do it. Now, you kept going to court. How was it in court? Their courts.
Oof, terrible.
They don't talk English in there.
No.
Oh, they talk English.
No, they do not.
Oh, they don't.
No. I mean, they'll give you like what they call a translator,
Yeah.
but they won't really translate. They'll mostly sit there. The one I had, I was asked, "What are they saying?" She just said, "It's nothing important. Don't worry about it."
Oh my How many times did you go into court?
Oh man, a lot, like 40 probably.
Okay, hold on. 40.
Yeah, yeah, many court appearances, many.
And then nothing would happen. You just
Yeah, just come back. They would continue with their kangaroo court, you know, bringing in witnesses that they've coached or something like that, or not bringing in any witnesses at all. Like in the drug case trial, there was no credible witnesses at all. The one witness against us is he's a criminal. He was charged with human trafficking, and he was arrested and basically wanted to get out of it. So he made up a story about my case partner who he hates, and yeah, I was lumped in with that as well. They came, they took all the assets off my case partner, and yeah, they don't need anything there. They can just condemn you.
so eventually, after 6 years, right?
Yes.
What happened to to hear that the news?
Honestly, I thought I was done for. I didn't think it was going to be the outcome that I got. I mean, thanks to God, it was freedom. That was the outcome.
What were you went to court? Last
Actually,
time?
it was a video call because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So COVID saved your life. That's
Well, actually, they were releasing a lot of people because there was not enough food in the
okay.
prison because of COVID.
Right.
But yeah. But I did get the death sentence over a video call one time. So that was because of COVID. Just a quick video call, like a WhatsApp video call. Hey,
Yeah.
death again. Get out of here. Okay. But the last time was a video call, and yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. It's a miracle.
What did they say? What you were looking at the video,
Yeah, it was,
and they
it was
said
on the
what?
wall. Yeah, and me and my case partner, Luke is his name, we're standing next to each other, and yeah, I can understand Thai at that point. So I'm hearing it, you know, and they're saying we don't believe, and I'm thinking like I must be hearing this wrong. They don't believe me again, you know.
Oh, right.
But no, they didn't believe the police. They said the police that arrested you is now under investigation for murder. The witness against you is now under investigation for human trafficking. So we don't believe them. There's no case here. Go.
That's it.
That was it.
What was your feeling at that moment?
I remember I gave Luke a hug. You know, we did it, man. We did it. You know, survived. We're gonna go now. We're going.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they just let you out, or how's that work?
No, you got to go to immigration detention center, which I was afraid. I thought they might rearrest me again for some other case they made up, but we got out. They sent us from the prison to an immigration detention center. We were there about 3 days, and then yeah, we did a COVID test, which I was really hoping came back negative because I got it a couple times in the prison, and it did come back negative, and then boom.
So
I flew back to Chicago and then back to Arizona.
And how was it when you first see your mom?
Yeah, I hadn't slept for about 3 or 4 days, you know, at that point, but it was dreamy, you know. I couldn't believe it. It was like, really, finally I'm outside. I actually didn't believe it was real until I saw the moon, because I hadn't seen the moon all those years. I hadn't seen the night. I'd never seen the night all those years. So once I finally saw the moon, that's when it started to hit me. But when I saw my mom, it was so good. It was surreal, unable to be explained.
Like a dream, like a dream, right?
Yeah.
Like a beautiful dream.
Yeah, exactly. And when I saw the flag, American flag too, first thing I did was go to a Catholic church. And when I was actually in a real church, you know, that's also when it really hit me that you're back.
How many times did you just break down, either from joy or?
Many. I feel like daily. I used to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, yeah, mentally break, you know, like it got to the point where you wouldn't see it on the outside, but in my brain, it was just exploding all the time. Just boom, 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 exploding with, it's all there, you know, anxiety, depression.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
I mean, I was starting to hear voices.
Yeah, I hate that, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, yeah. And then when they they would cut us off of our medicine too, you know. So they had us on like some anxiety medicine in death row, so that you would sleep, you know, because a lot of guys just wouldn't sleep at all. So, but then some days they just wouldn't be there. So you'd go into withdrawal and stuff like that as well, you know. So many times breakdown, really many times.
And then wait, with your mom, it's a breakdown of joy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, when you first get out to really experience it, you know, because you're thinking everyone's around the corner still. Like, it's not over, you know, it can't be over, because your brain, I've been telling my brain the whole time, like, this is going to be years, you know, this is, if you don't get killed.
You have to almost have a character, right? When you're in a prison like that, like, you got to have a certain, that's what I've heard. You got to be a certain way.
Yeah, there's a certain discipline. You got to be very disciplined, in your mind, in your body, especially there, because there's so much sickness. You have to be very disciplined in everything you do, or else you're not going to make it, basically. So yeah, I had been telling myself, like, you are a prisoner now. That's what you do. You become good at it. So that's what I did. And yeah, every day I would pray. I would pray, of course, for my freedom all the time, but I had accepted, you know, that it wasn't going to be like that. I had basically surrendered, you know?
Yeah.
Surrendered to God. Like, okay, this is it. I'm going to work with what I have now. I'm going to be grateful for what I have. I mean, my situation was terrible, but I was able to be grateful for what I did have, and I was actually happy. I used to wake up every morning and force myself to smile. I remember it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd wake up and literally, like, force myself to smile. And I remember it felt so strange to do at first, but I knew it was a good idea, you know?
Yeah.
And then I would get mornings where I'd wake up laughing, you know? I would be happy regardless of my situation.
Just because you woke up?
Yes. I remember I would go out every morning when let me out of the cell, and I'd write down what I was grateful for. I'd make at least 10 things. I would write down, first was always, I'm so glad I woke up this morning with no pain and no sickness. That was the first thing every time. And then for my family, all the things, you know, that I can see the sky, that I can see the clouds. It's good, you know, life is good. That's what I would tell myself.
You know, when I went through a major depression, and for me, it was like the opposite, but only when I slept was I happy.
Yeah, I went through times like that, man.
Because the dreams were so fucking good, you know?
Yes.
And then you'd wake up and it's like,
yeah, I know exactly.
But when I would dream daisies.
Yeah. I used to dream always about the beach.
Yeah.
That I'd be sitting on the beach, you know, letting the sand run through my fingertips and stuff like that. And yeah, I was the same, you know, I was the same way.
So how are you now? You're getting treatment?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm basically off all the medication, which, I mean,
Damn.
Yeah. It's been difficult, you know, but
your beautiful body that you have from calisthenics.
Yeah.
It's everybody who sees your body goes.
Yeah, they don't believe where I was. Yeah, but I mean that was that took discipline, you know. That took it was not easy because of the lack of food, lack of facilities, lack of anything. There was nothing, you know, to really. So yeah, calisthenics is what we would do. Yeah, like I was telling you about my back, I had about 1.5 years there where I couldn't walk because I had so many.
I can't imagine, man.
In the solitary room, I couldn't even walk barely. I had 4 herniated discs in the bottom of my back, 2 in between my shoulder blades. Luckily, God sent me one really influential guy in there. He helped me a lot with. He showed me these exercises to fix my spine, and I mean, it helps so much, you know.
Wow.
And I was able to heal myself like that, and ever since then, there's a lot to be said for exercise. Really, it's almost a religious thing, you know. I mean, I feel like it can almost bring you closer to God. I really do feel like that.
I agree with that.
It's a blessing. I feel so grateful that I can exercise, you know, and once I kind of got use again in my legs and I could start to feel my feet again, I remember how happy I was, you know, and it was just, such a blessing, but anybody could do it, you know, it's just.
No, not anybody, brother. What you did is It's a miracle.
It
It
is.
truly is a miracle, and I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it is a miracle. That's what it is. I can't take any credit really because it's a miracle.
Well, you could take a lot of credit.
I give credit to my mom. I give credit to
Your
my God.
mom's like a force of nature.
Yeah, she is.
Okay?
She is.
What she did for the love of her son was just
Unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Yeah, really unbelievable.
So why did you? So Tyler, listen.
Hmm.
Why did you decide to do State of Mind? Yeah.
I want to tell people my story, but I don't want them to pity me. I would like if they could learn something maybe, but I also want to help people who are in my position. I mean, there's so many, a lot of my friends are out, but so many aren't. They were sentenced to death, sentenced to life. They don't have any access to anything. There is no organizations that help this people, these type of people, this situation. It's such a small group minority, but these people are really suffering. I mean, and I want to be that person that helps them. I want to do whatever it takes, because a lot of the times governments can't help because of things that have to be done in these countries that I want to be able to do for them. I want to get them medicine. I want to get them food. I want to get them a lawyer. I want to get them someone to talk to so they don't kill themselves. That's what I want to do. I want to help them in any way possible. So I want to start a nonprofit. I'm going to call it a Relief for International Prisoners. Okay. And I'm going to gear it towards helping people who are in prison internationally, not just Americans. Yeah. Anyone who's, in a country where is cruel and brutal to them, and they're a foreigner. So they have even less of a leg up. They have nobody to help them. I want to be the person that helps them.
Well, I tell you what, we'll do it together.
Yes.
State of Mind.
Yes.
And whatever you're going to call your organization.
Yeah, Relief for International Prisoners, yeah.
Yeah, I'll help you out for sure.
That would be great.
But I want everybody to help out the Gerard family.
Of course, that would be great. And I mean, that's just going to go to helping others. I mean, that's what I want to do. I said a prayer when I was in there to God. I said, if you let me out, I will help others in the situation. I will bring these people who are condemned in the dark, deep, dark pits, of different countries. I will bring them back to you. That's what I told them. That's what I want to do.
I'll tell you a little story just because that was beautiful what you just said.
Thanks.
People always ask me about mental health, right?
Health. It's a huge issue,
especially now, right?
Yeah.
And when I was on the bed, strapped to a bed in the mental,
mm-hmm.
and I always tell the story where I couldn't get out of I tried to get out of the straps. I couldn't get out. Finally, I got to the end of the bed. There's a latch about this big.
All right.
I break it off.
Oh, no.
And I go back to my bed. And I'm like, I have it here, right?
Yeah. You're getting ready for it, yeah.
And then I started praying.
Mm-hmm.
I said, God, you better do something now.
Yeah.
Right? And I took it, broke it in half, made it into a cross.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it right by my bed.
There you go.
In that moment, and I'm not joking about this, I said, God, why are you doing this to me?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I heard a voice say, there's a reason.
Of course.
And if you look at my life, just us being here.
Yeah. It's a miracle in itself.
It's like, that's the clear reason that I had to go through that, just like you had to go through what you went through.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I'd like to say something real quick about suffering,
Yes.
I think it's such a shame, that suffering's viewed the way it is, because I think suffering is really, it's a way to better yourself, I mean, as soon as you take it as an experience that could help you, it completely changes the way that you would look at suffering. I mean, I think it's so sad that in our society, I think this is one of the main contributors to mental health problems, is in our society, we gauge everyone on monetary value. That's it.
Yeah.
If we were to gauge people on their spiritual value based on sufferings that they've been through and actually beaten, if that's how we gauge people's richness,
right, then
it would be a completely different society.
I 100% agree with you. We have to think of suffering as strength.
Exactly.
As
You have to agree to suffer.
Yes.
You know, if you don't agree to it, then you don't have.
But Tyler, the problem is that when you're in it, you think you're never going to get out.
Yes, exactly.
But
yeah.
the reality is, especially for you, it does pass. And guess what?
Of course, yeah.
You're better because of it.
And when it passes, you should be proud of yourself.
Yes, that's
you should
right.
really. You should. Okay, maybe you can't make a party, but once you pass through
I get you.
one stage
Why
of
can't you make a
suffering,
party?
yeah, you should. Yeah,
Right.
once you pass through one stage of suffering, even if it's not, you haven't gotten to the end of
Yes.
the main suffering, each stage should make you feel good. You know,
I-
should make you feel proud that you got through that.
That's right.
It's much more of an accomplishment than getting $1 million.
But you
or
know the
something,
beauty of this, Tyler, is how old are you?
27.
You've learned that and you're 27. I'm 60. Now I'm learning. Okay?
Yeah,
So you're learning it at 27, man.
yeah.
So your life's going to be grand. Okay? Mine, I'm just like, at 58, I started figuring it out. What you're saying about suffering.
Yeah, this was really a mindset that I took, you know.
Yes.
Every time, because they would just keep coming problems, you know, for me, problem after
Right.
problem after problem. I got to a point where I would be like, thank you, God, another test, you know, and I will pass it, and you'll be
That's
proud
right.
of me, you know.
That's
So I'm gonna pass this next test, and I'm gonna move on better than I was before. And so every time I would get through one, I'd be like, that's good, that is
Right.
good.
So I'm gonna conclude this. All the information for the GoFundMe will be out where it needs to be. I've heard incredible stories. They're all incredible to me, but this one just got me a lot. And the fact that there's people, friends of Tyler's, still there who can't get the help that he's gotten
Yeah,
and maybe never get the help because these animals they just get away with murder. And if, I don't know, I don't want to keep talking because I know I'm going to get in trouble and say something that's bad. I just want to say that I want to thank you and your mom for doing this.
yeah. Thank you.
It's gonna help so many people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.